Okay, I've been looking for a guy for 2 days. We had a celebrity here last week. I didn't even hear of until in the media. And anyhow, we'll see how this goes. What's your name?
Brian Jones.
Brian. And you work for
TD Waterhouse.
TD Waterhouse. And you had quite an experience last week.
Right.
And what did you do last week?
Well, I guess it would be before last week. I was approached by the Boys and Girls Club to help on an initiative which is quite large on dealing with children at risk and youth at risk. And part of it was if they were homeless, what services are available in Fredericton, and trying to understand why they're homeless and what services would be available to them here in Fredericton.
And we're talking about the late teens?
Yeah, 15 to 25, that's really where Youth Choice is, that's where their group is in the Boys and Girls Club, and the reason they try and focus in on that group is those are probably the most vulnerable people who are looking for attention.
Mm-hmm.
And if they're not getting good attention, it's bad attention.
Tell me about it.
And then if they're not getting any attention too, some of the people that give them the attention are the people we don't want them to be getting attention from, like drug dealers, pedophiles, people that are kind of looking for victims or looking for people that are a little bit helpless. And then these people get into the cycle, and then whether it's prostitution or drugs or abuse, it happens early on. And if they get into that cycle where they can't get out of that cycle, psychological damage is too big, and then they're in the system. We can't.
Where's the Boys Club here in Fredericton?
It's actually right over here above Simmons, the clothing store.
Clothing store.
Yeah.
And how many members there?
Well, there's a staff there, I would say maybe 7 or 8 that are staffing that area. And 2 of them work closely with, and again, I don't have the exact numbers here, but work with the kids at risk, and then there's actually 2 more that work actually with kids that are, I guess, on probation, I would say.
So these kids, they have behavior problems, just like this blogger here, behavior problems,
and
then they become
up that way.
Yeah, then they become the outcasts of society.
Right.
And they end up in a shelter or different. They move from house to house, from apartment to apartment.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of them here in the city, and you are born here.
Right. Yeah.
So this happens a lot here.
Well, and I think you're seeing more of it and more. And I think even on the news today, there was a 13-year-old that was robbed at Brookside Mall. Yeah. And there was a little girl that drank the meth right here in Fredericton. There was the girl that was on W5 that was 16 years old. Yeah, and I think initially she was arrested for
throwing apples.
Something ridiculous. They put her in jail, and then mentally, after being in jail for a while, it just kind of made it worse. Right? And then they just kind of left her, and they didn't know what to do with her, and then they put her in a federal prison, and then, so...
Her sentence increased while she was behind bars because she has a behavior problem.
Yeah.
So you turn around, and you wanted to know what these youths... Do you have any kids? Kids of your own?
2 girls.
2 girls? How old?
3 and 5.
3 and 5.
Right.
So you wanted to know what these kids with behavior problem, what they go through, right?
Right.
And you know what? We're going to get to that on part 2.
Okay.